The Starlight Thief. Once upon a time, there was a young boy named Ethan who had always been drawn to the stars. They glimmered in the night sky like distant jewels, mysterious and full of stories that no one could quite reach. But one evening, while wandering alone on a high hill, something strange happened. A soft, ethereal glow surrounded him, and before he could even understand what was happening, he found himself reaching up and stealing a silver of starlight. At first, it felt like magic, a warm glow that spread through his fingers, the starlight becoming part of him. But then, as the light vanished into the dark sky, Ethan realized that he had done something extraordinary, something impossible. As the night grew deeper, a figure stepped out from the shadows, a girl with glowing silver hair and eyes like shimmering stars. Her name was Laura, and she wasn't from his world at all. "I've been waiting for you, Ethan," Laura said softly, her voice like the hum of the wind. "You have the gift, the rare ability to steal starlight. I need your help." Ethan was stunned. "Help? What do you mean?" Laura explained that her home was a kingdom hidden high in the sky, among the stars themselves. Her people had lived for centuries, but their light was fading. The stars were dying, and the only way to save them was by stealing the light from stars in other worlds. But this power, as beautiful as it was, came with a heavy cost. Each time starlight was stolen, the thief would lose a piece of their own light. "I can't ask you to give up your light, Ethan," Laura said, her voice filled with a sadness Ethan couldn't understand. "But without it, my people will vanish into darkness. The stars are fading, and with them, the hope of my world." Ethan looked at her, torn between helping and keeping his light. The idea of giving up his warmth and brightness seemed too much to bear. Yet, as he stood there in the silent night, a deep part of him knew he couldn't turn away from someone in need. He asked Laura, "Is there no other way?" Laura shook her head, but then smiled. "There is always another way," she whispered. "We just need to find it." Together, Ethan and Laura journeyed through hidden realms, seeking answers from the ancient stars, asking them how they could save Laura's world without the dangerous cost of losing their light. Along the way, Ethan learned that starlight wasn't just a physical thing, it was a force, an energy of hope and dreams, and with enough belief, it could be revived in other ways. As Ethan and Laura ventured through hidden realms, they met ancient stars that had lived for eons. The stars whispered their wisdom to them, sharing secrets about the magic that powered their light. But despite their journey, the path to saving Laura's world seemed unclear. Ethan couldn't stop thinking about the cost of giving up his own light to save hers. He found himself questioning if it was worth the sacrifice. One evening, as they stood on a hill bathed in starlight, Ethan voiced his concerns. "I just don't understand," he said, looking up at the stars. "If I steal their light, I'll lose mine. How can that be worth it? How can we save a world by losing part of ourselves?" Laura sat down beside him, her eyes thoughtful. "I know it's hard, but remember, the stars have always given us light, without expecting anything in return. They light the way for us, even when we can't see their faces. Maybe the way to save my people isn't by taking, but by giving. What if the answer isn't in stealing the stars' light, but in sharing our own?" Ethan looked at her, confused. "Share our own light? But I don't have much light to give. What if I don't have enough to make a difference?" Laura smiled softly, her eyes shining. "You have more light than you think. The greatest magic isn't in what you take, it's in what you share with others. When you give kindness, hope, and love, you spread light too. That's how the stars truly shine, Ethan. It's never been just about the light you have, it's about what you give away." Ethan thought about her words. He remembered all the times he had helped others, the small acts of kindness that had made him feel good inside. Maybe it was true. The more light you shared, the more it grew. Determined, Ethan stood up, holding his hand to the sky. "All right, let's do it. Let's find a way to share our light and save your people, together." Laura's eyes sparkled with hope. "You're right," she said, nodding. "Let's go back to the stars." They returned to the kingdom among the stars, where Laura's people waited. The stars above them shimmered brightly, and Ethan held his hand out. "I've learned something," he said. "The light we give, the love we share, that's what makes the stars shine brighter. Not just for us, but for everyone. Laura's people gathered around, listening intently. With a deep breath, Ethan closed his eyes and thought about all the kindness he had experienced in his life, the simple acts of love, the warmth of friendship, the joy of sharing. As he exhaled, a burst of golden light filled the air, swirling around him and Laura, flowing into the hearts of the people who stood with them. The light wasn't just the light of the stars. It was the light of all the good in the world, all the kindness that had ever been shared, and all the love that had ever been given. And with that, the stars began to shine brighter than ever before. Laura looked at Ethan, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You did it," she whispered. "You've saved us all." Ethan smiled, his heart full. "We did it," he said softly. "We all did." As the starlight continued to grow, Ethan realized something. It wasn't the power of stealing the star's light that had saved Laura's world. It was the power of sharing, of giving without expecting anything in return. And from that day on, the stars glowed brighter, not just because of the light they gave, but because of the love and kindness they inspired in others. Ethan returned to his world, knowing that the greatest magic in life was the magic of sharing light, in whatever form it might come. The end.